Hello friends, Victoria here. Welcome to our reading today. As you can see, I am in the shop, so I am doing readings here today and tomorrow. So if you would like to book a reading with me, feel free to pop on in or call or email ahead of time. You can schedule, but we do take walk-ins. And tomorrow is First Thursday, so we will be open later tomorrow. So we have the sun moving through Scorpio. It is at 10 degrees Scorpio today, and the moon has moved into Pisces. And we will probably be feeling a lot of emotions coming up. There's a lot going on, a lot of energy that we're having to process and situations around us. So just remember to keep your focus as always as we move through this kind of shadow time of the year where we're working through all types of scenarios that come up that require our inner focus and taking breaths as we move forward. So the pick a card pull last week was a big hit, so I thought I'd do that again today. And this week I'm using the deck, the Avalon deck. And some of you may have heard of it before. This is what the front of it looks like. It's gorgeous deck. This is what the back of the cards look like with that beautiful crescent moon and chalice, and then the starry sky above. So I'm going to go ahead and put 3 cards in front of you, and you choose the one that calls to you. So are you feeling the one, 2, 3? Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Feel into what you feel is calling you. Okay. So now that you have your card, I'm going to go ahead and go over them. So if you picked card number 1, it is the mystery of life and the cycles of life and knowing that balance. What is the great mystery of your soul? What is calling you forward? I always like to read a little bit of this deck because I feel like it has so much hidden within it. If any of you have studied Avalon or read The Wisdom of Avalon, I recommend it if you haven't, but for those of you who do know, there's always so many mysteries within the Isle of Avalon and the idea of Avalon and the mystery of Avalon. So the mystery. This marker directs you into the unknown, into the unknowable mystery of your journey. It is the sacred place where all things are created, but are not yet formed. It points the way to pure power and potential, which meets the magic of intention. It tells you that the magical, unknowable forces of destiny and fate are working in your life. The forces that you can never fully understand or control are indeed weaving their magic around you to help you fulfill your true purpose. There is, however, a warning to be humble here. The mystery reveals itself only when it chooses and not when or how you demand. The cosmic laws operate here outside of time and space, outside of human influence and intellect. Only hindsight will reveal their patterns. Only total trust and the deepest faith can be your allies when the mystery appears as the sacred journey marker on your path. Sometimes it may seem as if you're going backwards, but truly, if you look at a spiral, it goes up, back, and around, reaching upward, although it may seem for a time that you are not. You are indeed progressing. Trust the mystery and keep going. For now, trust that the thread of your life is woven into the pattern of the mystery with beauty, grace, strength, and purpose. This marker is an auspicious and profound omen that shows you are on the correct path. Okay, so if you pick the first card, this is your message. I'm not even going to dive into it more because it was already powerful enough the way it was said. If you pick the second card, it's the King. The King comes to you to say, do you have your world in order? How is your kingdom doing? Have you created your authority in a proper way of integrity? So, and the king is all about the masculine side of ourselves, the drive, the passion, the willpower. Of course, in astrology, that would be represented as Mars, and Mars did go retrograde in Gemini. So we're having to look at how we are thinking about moving forward in life, but right now we're not really moving forward per se. So we just want to do a more reflection at what our past actions and decisions may have been, and if they've served us, and if we need to make any shifts and changes. That's definitely something we may want to be reviewing as Mars moves backwards through Gemini. I'll read a little bit to you about this. The king appears to represent the powers of justice, authority, the law, the masculine energy. When the king appears on your path, it's a time to put your house in order, complete any resolved legal issues, and deal with issues related to fairness. The king always lets you know that something significant is yours to experience and learn from. There is, let's see. The king requires you to take inventory of anything left undone and do it. Pay bills, settle arguments, make amends, act with authority, as all of these actions abolish weakness and restore power. You are also reminded that the king is regarded in highest esteem, and within his natural authority, he acts with intelligence and strategy. Think, analyze, and the king will bestow great gifts on you. Pay attention, for this king reminds you to take affirmative action in your life. And I think also what I heard is like, just be really conscious of the action you're taking. And remember, like if you have a spiritual practice, which I'm sure many of you do, otherwise you probably wouldn't be watching this video, connecting with that spiritual practice and like connecting with your heart center. Because remember, even though the king is the king, his true authority is to the God self, the great, I am presence. And that God self is the God self that's acting through the king, that's acting through us, being that divine self here on earth. But it's the more active versus the more receptive and fluid one. So you're taking action, but just being very discerning if that is the action of our higher pathway, our true path of our higher presence. So connecting in with our heart center and our spirit to intermingle the two with the outer, or not even with the outer, but intermingle the spirit and the heart before it takes action in the outer. That's a better way of saying it. So that your discernment has been checked and your clarity has been checked. And sometimes you may even need to like step back a little and like observe, even the one could step back and observe their kingdom and see what is needed from a heart state. And then if you chose the third card, let's see what this is. Oh, it's fear. Okay, so this is calling up fears and doubts and things that we need to address. And then remember, fear is false evidence appearing real. So whatever the fear that's coming up, it's for you to look it in the eye and address it, and see how what needs to be shifted, what needs to be paid attention to, what needs to be healed, to relieve this fear, to assist it in being transformed into a strength. Okay. So this marker asks you to identify how fear may be affecting you on this part of your journey. Are you afraid of failure? Perhaps you're worried about success and the changes it brings, as it pushes you to be all you can be. Are you afraid of losing something you don't yet have? Is your fear valid? Have you seen evidence of adversity and trouble? Or are you seeing false evidence which gives the appearance of being real? Fear is a crippling companion and indicates a loss of faith and connection to the divine. Remember that the God and Goddess doesn't give you anything that you can't handle. Fear comes from the part of you that identifies with separation, division, and form. To release yourself from it, remember that you are first and foremost of an infinite soul. Look through those eyes, and the fear will subside as you remember to trust the way of the mystery. Don't struggle with fear. Look inside and see the part of you that is afraid, and send love, light, and compassion inward. This would be a very good time to write an inventory of your fears and their possible solutions. Once on paper, you may find that you've been afraid of fear itself. This is an auspicious omen of transformation. So, okay, well, those are the 3 cards. So, if you picked one of these, there you go. And I also feel with the fear, if we write it out, like it gives us that time to reflect on it. Like we see it on paper and it's not as huge as sometimes we might make it in our mind, in our consciousness. And then remember, we do have that full moon coming up. And one of the things, in a full moon is you could release stuff to clear it. Whether it's, through smoke, through writing it out and burning it and like giving it to the universe, releasing it with grace and harmony to the, your angels, your guides of light to assist you to your higher presence. That you've heard that term, giving it to God, giving it to the angels. There's that instance you can do. And if there's another way that you feel, that's good too. So I hope you enjoyed the reading. And remember, you can always come in the shop and get your personalized reading. And I'm wishing you a wonderful week ahead. And remember, we are moving into that full moon coming up in Taurus next week, the eclipse. So prepare. And remember to take each breath and live your life, moment to moment in the best way you can. And bring that positivity forward. Many blessings.